Hello everyone, this is Sheethal Maria back at Bio Oceans after a long time, and today we are here with the continuation of the cell series that we have started before. Before getting into the video, that if any one of you are new to my channel, please go and subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon so that you can get the notifications whenever I upload a video. And here we are going to deal about the chemical composition of plasma membrane. Only about the chemical composition, not much more that detailed structure and all those stuff we are not dealing. It's just a small session and we here are learning the chemical composition. Okay, we know what a plasma membrane is, right? Yeah, it is a covering, it protects the cell, it gives the cell its shape. Like that, plasma membrane is doing so many functions for the cell. Okay, so we are here to learn its chemical composition. Mainly the plasma membrane is made up of three components: proteins, lipids and carbohydrates, and these three are the chemicals that are making or that are involved in the making of this cell membrane, and we will learn what all are the functions of these three chemicals and all those stuffs here. Okay, so let us learn what these proteins are doing for the plasma membrane. Actually, proteins are the major integral component of the plasma membrane. It constitutes about 75%, and they are of many types. These proteins are of many types. The first one is the structural proteins, which is providing the plasma membrane its own structure. And the structural proteins even are of two types. That first one which is lying outside, and the second one which is lying inside. Okay, these are the structural proteins. And the second type of proteins are carrier proteins. These are the proteins which will help in the transportation of ions across the plasma membrane. When you will study electron transport chain, you will be able to understand this transportation of ions across the plasma membrane completely. Okay, there you will understand. You have to understand now that these carrier proteins are aiding for the transportation of ions across the plasma membrane, and for these carrier proteins to work properly we need enzymes. Okay, like RNAase, phosphatase, ATPase, like those enzymes are needed for the carrier proteins to work properly. And as I've told you, structural proteins are of two types, and those two type of proteins are named according to their position. And that first one among them is extrinsic or peripheral proteins. What are extrinsic? Extrinsic or peripheral means those are relying on the outside or the surface. Here, extrinsic or peripheral proteins means those proteins which lie on the surface of the plasma membrane, and as they are just on the surface, using some mild chemical methods, we can separate these proteins from the plasma membrane, so they are easily removable. Okay, then comes the intrinsic proteins or integral proteins. What means intrinsic? In means inside, and they are the proteins which lies inside the plasma membrane, or those are penetrated inside the plasma membrane. They are found in the interior of the plasma membrane, and as they are just a inside structure, it needs a lot of methods, or it needs a lot of separating techniques to be done in order to separate them, or in order to remove them from the plasma membrane. So it is highly risky to remove this kind of proteins from the plasma membrane. Okay, this is how proteins work in a plasma membrane. And the next type of substance that is seen in the plasma membrane are lipids. They are just about 20 to 40%. We know lipids have two types of ends. Okay, it have a hydrophobic end as well as a hydrophilic end. Okay, so both these ends are present in a lipid structure. Hydrophilic means what? Hydrophilic end means that ends are water loving, and hydrophobic ends mean those are water hating. These hydrophobic ends are called as hydrophobic tails, and hydrophilic ends are called as hydrophilic heads. Okay, and primarily the lipids that are seen in the plasma membrane are phospholipids and steroids. Phospholipids means it has a phosphate group attached to that lipids. Okay, so there are phospholipids as well as steroids. Phospholipids like lecithin, cephaline all are present in the plasma membrane, while steroids like cholesterol are present in the plasma membrane. Okay, and the proteins that we have studied earlier along with these lipids together constitute to make lipoprotein. Lipids plus proteins will make lipoproteins. Okay, and the third major component of this plasma membrane is carbohydrates. Usually they are of low content, below 5% only, and mainly these carbohydrates are oligosaccharides. It occurs in two different combinations, like if these carbohydrates are attached to lipids, it is called as glycolipids, and if these carbohydrates are attached to proteins, it is called as glycoproteins. Okay, this is how these three proteins, lipids and carbohydrates work together and maintain the plasma membrane. Okay, hope you understood about the chemical composition of the plasma membrane, and this is all for today. Thank you for listening, and if you have any kind of doubts, let me know through my email ID that I have provided. And also, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, comment your suggestions and share it to your friends and others who are interested to learn biology. See you in the next video. Thank you for listening. God bless. Thank you.